Hello everyone. Now, today I'm going to be reading you the story of the naughtiest ever fairy, illustrated and written by Nick Ward. I hope you enjoy it. High on a green hill, in a little yellow house, lived the naughtiest ever fairy. After a busy morning thinking up tricks and mixing spells, the naughtiest ever fairy liked to take a nap. Across the valley, in a big blue castle, lived the very noisy giant. He spent the morning hard at work with his very noisy chores, but when his chores were done, the very noisy giant loved to dance. Every afternoon, just as the naughtiest ever fairy climbed into bed and closed her eyes, the very noisy giant would put on his favourite noisy music. Then he would skip and spin in his giant boots. Crash! Bang! Clump! It was getting harder and harder for the naughtiest ever fairy to get any sleep at all. Da-da-da! It's insufferable! Rattle, clatter, crash! The naughty fairy woke up with a jump. She had had enough. She couldn't get her beauty sleep, and it was starting to show. As you can imagine, the naughty fairy was getting very grumpy. If the giant wasn't so big, she thought, he wouldn't make so much noise. And that gave the fairy a naughty idea. Soon it would be the giant's birthday, so the fairy sat down to make a special card, and inside she wrote a very naughty spell. In fact, the spell was so naughty that I can't tell you what it said until the magic has worn off. That should do the trick, smiled the naughty fairy as she popped it in the postbox. On his birthday, the noisy giant danced down the stairs. Just then, a card popped through the letterbox. Yippee! He cried. Giants don't get many birthday cards, you see. Who's it from? Oh, no, said the giant. I forgot I can't read. So the noisy giant went to find someone very clever who could read. Can you read my card? He asked the big bad wolf. Of course, growled the wolf importantly as he grabbed the card from the giant's hand. I'm a very good reader. What does it say? Asked the giant. Hold on, I've got to read it to myself first, growled the big bad wolf. And then suddenly, Kazam! The big bad wolf changed into a timid little lamb. Oh, how embarrassing, shivered the gentle little lamb. I'm supposed to be fierce and ferocious. And he ran away to hide. The noisy giant still didn't know what his card said, so he went to see the bold and roaring lion, who was king of the jungle. Can you read my card? Asked the very noisy giant. Of course, roared the lion imperiously. I'm a very good reader. He opened the card and started to read. Kazam! The lion changed into a little scaredy cat. Oh, how humiliating, he meowed, running off to hide. I'm supposed to be the king of the jungle. But still the noisy giant didn't know what his card said, so he went to see the last of the fiery dragons.
Can you read my card? Asked the giant. Of course, said the dragon grandly. I am a very good reader. But as soon as he started to read the message, Kazam!
The fiery dragon changed into an insignificant little worm. Oh no, this is insufferable, squirmed the worm, crawling into his tiny hole. I'm supposed to be a fiery dragon. The poor giant still didn't know what his card said, so he went to see the naughtiest ever fairy. Giant, she gasped, very surprised to see him still so big and noisy. Didn't you get your card?
Yes, said the giant, but I can't read it. Can you help?
No chance, said the fairy. I'm not falling for that old trick. Find someone else to read it for you. Whoever reads this birthday card, if you're big or fierce or scary, will turn into something very small. Love from the naughty fairy. Kazam! Oh, you didn't, did you? I hope you enjoyed that story. I certainly did. Now, I'd like to play 2 games with you about the story before I say goodbye. First of all, you might need your grown-up to help you with this story. In the story, you'll see the naughtiest fairy ever has a frog. And that's what our game's going to be about. Okay, so all you need to do for this game is know your alphabet and think of as many describing words as you can. Okay, so I'm going to do the first 5 letters with you to give you an idea how to play this game with your grown-up. So we've got, let's do our alphabet first. The first 5 letters of the alphabet are A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. Now this is how you play the game. The naughtiest ever fairy's frog is angry. A for angry. The naughtiest fairy ever is big. The naughtiest ever fairy's frog is cool. The naughtiest ever fairy's frog is delicious. The naughtiest ever fairy's frog is easy to spot, lying next to the naughtiest fairy ever. Maybe you could do a bit better than Mr. Guy. It's the alphabet game mixed in with giving describing words for the naughtiest fairy ever. Now, Mr. Guy has drawn some pictures. Hopefully you can see that is a worm. That is the big bad wolf. That is the king, the lion. That's the lamb. That's the dragon. And that's the little pussycat. But I think I've got them muddled up. What animal does the noisy giant go to see first? And then also during the story, the naughtiest fairy's magic transforms the animals into different animals. Oh, I've really got muddled up. I hope you can help me out. Can you remember which animal goes where in the story? What's the first animal that the noisy giant meets? Is it the pussycat? Is it the dragon? Is it the little lamb? The king of the jungle, the lion, the big bad wolf, or the worm? That's right. It's the big bad wolf. But what does the big bad wolf get turned into when he reads the card? That's right, the lamb. So, the noisy giant meets the big bad wolf, and when the wolf reads the card, he turns into the lamb. What character does the noisy giant meet next? Is it the cat, the dragon, Oh, it's the lion. You're right. And what does the lion turn into? The what? That's it. So the second character the noisy giant meets is the lion, the king of the jungle. And when the lion reads the card, he gets turned into a pussycat. And then the next animal the noisy giant meets is the worm, and he gets turned into a dragon. I think I've got that wrong. Hope you enjoyed reading the story from the start of the story to the end. Hope you enjoy doing the game as well. See you soon. Take care.